Everybody, Dario Favaretto speaking. I'm here another time after the first webinar of last week dedicated to the innovation and the e-procurement. Today we discuss about intermodal transport and sustainability. Okay, I remember you that all these webinars are promoted by CFLI Venice, Consorzio Formazione Logistica Intermodale, part of the international program Interreg Italy-Croatia, and supported by the European Union. The training program number 2, talking about intermodal transport and sustainability. I give you general outlook and the needs. Transport activities play an essential strategic role for the economic development of an area, but at the same time, they represent one of the economic sector that mostly give a significant pressure over environmental and natural resources. Road transport remains today the main transport source across Europe. And despite the slowdown in mobility caused by the recent economic crisis and its following restart, the quality of the environment is heavily compromised by the growing number of vehicles circulating across roads and motorways, by the seniority of the circulating fleet, and because of the scarce diffusion of environment-friendly fuels. Furthermore, air and noise pollution, soil consumption, land fragmentation, interference with ecosystems and biodiversity, visual disturbance, damage of historical and artistic assets and sites, frequently are side effects of transport and result of unsustainable mobility policies. Today, performing a sustainable mobility is one of the strongest tools that can be used in order to balance the need for an efficient and effective movement of goods and passenger with those concerning the environment protection for future generations. Sustainable mobility encompasses all those transport solutions that are able to reduce the negative effects of freight and people transport, considered both economically, socially, and environmentally. Focusing on goods transport, combined road-rail transport, is one of the ways to shift cargoes over medium routes, reducing impacts on the environment. By transferring shipments from road to rail, it is possible to reduce energy consumption, to contribute to environment protection, and last but not least, to help reducing overall transport costs. It thus becomes for firms and operators necessary to be aware about the opportunities for such a model shift, to be able to understand how cargoes can be efficiently and effectively transferred from road-based transport services to intermodal ones, and to evaluate the environmental and economic benefits that can be reached. Educational aims in line with the community guidelines concerning the reduction of the negative externalities produced by transport and logistics activities. The training program wants to show how is it possible, changing the point of view, to redefine the traditional business models and therefore transform those that are commonly considered as potential threat to growth opportunities. With higher attention, environmental sustainability can become one of the main sources of competitive advantage. Firms' transport and logistics processes, probably not always very careful about their negative effects, such as the environmental ones, can increase their strength, since today, more than in past, they are key processes and drivers of business growth and success. Through an accurate analysis and framing of transport systems and chains, the course aims to train technicians able to participate to the reorganization of the transport processes, considering them from a sustainable perspective. The participant will be able to analyze, for different transport modes, the consumed resources, for example, fuel and energy, and to evaluate how it is possible to reduce their consumption, thus improving their performances both from an economic and an environmental point of view. In other words, participants will be able to reach overall better transport results, reducing the quantity of used resources. The skills acquired at the end of the training program will enable to operate in order to reduce the cost of the supply chain, to reduce the environmental impact of logistics, and to draw or implement energy-saving processes. The course aims to upgrade the skills of those operators that, within firms, are involved and specialized in the organization of logistics processes, considering them in a sustainable perspective. In particular, it will develop the ability to operate and contribute to the reorganization of transport processes through techniques and tools, specifically to reduce their impact of the environment. The learning methodologies are lectures, case studies, brainstorming, problem solving, learning by doing, and more. The final evaluation. At the end of the training program, participant knowledge will be evaluated, like our last webinar, using a multiple choice test prepared by the teachers based on the topics dealt with during the lectures. The program structure have 4 modules. The number 1 is the transport, logistics, and supply chain management fundamentals, have a duration of 8 hours. The second one is intermodal transport systems, vehicles, infrastructures, and organization, and have a duration of 12 hours. The third is the green logistic and sustainability, with a duration of 8 hours. And the fourth and the last is the economic and financial basis, with a duration of 12 hours. I explain you skills and contents of all the model. The model number 1, the skills is to be able to understand and evaluate the logistics and supply chain performance of a company. The context is the definition, the evolution, and recent trends of logistics and supply chain management. Logistics basis glossary, the logistics system components, transport, warehouses, logistics network, logistics activities like handling, packaging, labeling, and more, system cost, logistics service level. The model number 2, and the skills we can find, be able to understand and evaluate how transport processes can be combined to improve performances. The contents are modes of transport, maritime, road, rail, and air, the origins of the intermodal transport, types of intermodal transport units, intermodal vehicles, infrastructures and operators, organization of intermodal transport, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of intermodal transport, European policies, innovative technologies, practices, and future trends. In the model number 3, the skill is to be able to evaluate the different energy solutions available for firms, to be able to prepare transport process changes in a green perspective. The contents are energy scenarios, energy efficiency, renewable energy sources, green fuels, strategies for consumption reduction, managing and technical aspects, reverse logistics, eco-friendly logistics, transport and logistics externalities, ICT solutions, safe and eco-driving, and funding opportunities. The last model, number 4, is to be able to understand and evaluate technical and economic financial aspects of the various transport modes. The concepts are technologies, organization, economies, markets, policies and standards of transport processes, economic and financial elements, KPIs, logistics costs, and management control. For any kind of question regarding the course, the program structure, and the didactic modalities, please keep in touch with the CFLI by email. Now, if you have any question for me now, I'm available. Nobody have questions? Okay. If you have any, please keep in touch with CFLI by email at the address that we have. It's Venezia at CFLI.it. It was a pleasure for me to conduct this webinar too. See you at the next time. Bye.